With that, the court, having read the PSI and being fully familiar with the defendant and the underlying facts of this case, believes that it is in the best interest of justice as well as proportionate to the needs of this case to sentence defendant as follows. As it relates to docket 2022-279-506-FC, count 1, terrorism causing death. Sentences of the court is that defendant shall serve life without the possibility of parole, credit for 8 days served. Counts 2 through 5, homicide, first degree, premeditated murder, juvenile defendant. Sentence of the court is that defendant shall serve the rest of his life without the possibility of parole with the Michigan Department of Corrections, credit for 8 days served. On counts 6 through 12, assault with intent to murder. On each of the counts, defendant is sentenced to 18 years and 9 months to 80 years with the Michigan Department of Corrections, credit for 8 days served. On counts 13 through 24, those being felony firearm, defendant is sentenced to 2 years with the Michigan Department of Corrections on each of those counts with credit for 730 days served. Counts 1 through 12 are concurrent to each other, and counts 13 through 24 are concurrent to each other. Count 1 is consecutive to count 13, count 2 is consecutive to count 14, count 3 is consecutive to count 15, count 4 is consecutive to count 16, count 5 is consecutive to count 17, count 6 is consecutive to count 18, count 7 is consecutive to count 19, count 8 is consecutive to count 20, count 9 is consecutive to count 21, count 10 is consecutive to count 22, count 11 is consecutive to 23, and count 12 is consecutive to count 24. All of those consecutive counts are by reason of the felony firearm statute. Is there a challenge to restitution here?
There is not, Your Honor.
Thank you. Restitution will be set in the amount of $20,781. State costs will be set in the amount of $1,632. You are not to have any contact with Oxford High School or enter Oxford High School. You're not to have any contact whatsoever with the families of Madison Baldwin, Tate Meyer, Hannah St. Juliana, and Justin Schilling. Also, you are not to have any contact with the following victims or their families, that being Phoebe Arthur.
We have been watching the sentencing of Ethan Crumbley 2 years ago when he was 15. He went to his high school. He had a gun in his backpack. He shot and killed 4 of his classmates and injured others. He had a statement a moment ago before the judge started speaking. He expressed that he's sorry for what he did. He said he realizes there's nothing he could do to make it better, but that he will try to be better and he will try to help others. This was after multiple victim statements from family members of students killed, from other classmates who were injured or who watched as their friends were killed, begging the court to keep him behind bars for the rest of his life. And that is exactly what the judge did. You heard the judge there talk about Ethan Crumbley's crimes in very blunt terms, in a way that I had not yet heard about them before, saying that he had one of his classmates get down on his knees and executed him, and that he saw another classmate that he had already shot, and he went up to her and shot her again and executed her. The judge said that mental health should not mean that he gets any less time. He said his mental health didn't stop him from meticulously planning on the school shooting, meticulously planning how he would kill his classmates, and that he clearly wanted to see what happened afterwards, that he wanted to be notorious, and he wanted to experience that because he did not take his own life. Ethan Crumbley will spend the rest of his life behind bars without the possibility of parole.